Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Anytime I'm doing this, I hate that part because I love the chatter. I love it when you guys are reconnected and having those conversations. I hate putting an end to that. But if we don't get started, we're not going to make it to lunch. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Billy Coyle. I'm the head of school here at Christchurch School, just starting my third year. And this is just a big welcome and thank you to everyone. We have many alums in the room and some wonderful inductees to our Hall of Fame. I want to say thank you to our Hall of Fame committee for putting the time and effort into all the work that you do to selecting these candidates. We actually have two of our Hall of Fame inductees from last year are in the audience today. With Coach Homer is here and Nelson Williams are here from last year's class. Thank you. But this truly, it's a wonderful weekend. We're so excited to have so many alums here and to have this Hall of Fame ceremony. At the same time, we have our homecoming. We've got our parents here on campus. It's our alumni weekend, fall family weekend. Thank you all for being here and thank you for celebrating these inductees into our Hall of Fame. So with that, I am going to turn this over to Mr. Huntley Gallier.
Good morning. In 2002, the Christchurch School Athletic Hall of Fame and committee was founded by then current director Ed Homer, who spent 1 year of research and formed the first Hall of Fame committee and inducted the first class in the fall of 2003. It is noted that the first Hall of Fame committee chair is Dave Alter, and I will say Dave is here today in the back. Dave was a consistent and reliable and led the measure of patience and friendship in all the situations. Dave today continues to be a true seahorse and can be seen on the sidelines in most every football game, home and away. 8 years later, in 2011, the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee decided after two years discussion that many should be recognized for their lifetime accomplishment and achievement throughout their life and careers, inducted the first class of Lifetime Achievement. In 2018, as Christchurch School approached this century mark, we embarked on a new process of recognizing a past and celebrating some of the memorial alumni. We have studied the impact of this community and the significant effort involved in such an undertaking. We believe it is a program that builds strong bonds between the proud past of Christchurch. The Hall of Fame Committee today has a running nomination well over 50 individuals. We have nominated and continue to discuss these people. Since the Hall of Fame inception, there have been 43 inductions for the Athletic Hall of Fame teams, plus today we will add 2 more. In 2011, since 2011, we have now inducted 25 individuals for lifetime achievement and special recognition, and today we add 2 individuals. I'd like to turn this over to Albie McHugh, class of 73, but before I do, our chairman today is unfortunate. Eric Robinson is sick with the flu, and she's unfortunate to be here with her family, and she sends her regrets. But our senior member is Albie McHugh of the committee, and I've asked Albie to please step in for Erica. Albie?
Thank you, Huntley. It's my getting close to the end of my second term on the Hall of Fame committee, and it's a very enjoyable thing to do. So any of you that are interested or get approached, please consider it. The Hall of Fame, the goal of the Hall of Fame is to celebrate our history and accomplishments. The school's rich history of competitive athletics and high achievements of our graduates. We endeavor to recognize these men and women who have truly given of themselves while as a student and who have continued after Christchurch by achieving and accomplishing life challenges as well as making a mark on society and the people around them. The committee, it's all alumni with a representative or 2 from the school administration, and we meet 3 or 4 times a year. Most of the time nowadays we meet via Zoom, but occasionally those of us that can make it down here come down and we do the meetings in person. We, over the past couple of years, what else to say? My first term was early in maybe the first or second class of the Hall of Fame, and it was a little simpler in those days because you could look back at this wide collection of individuals, and there were some icons that was clear these folks should be in the Hall of Fame. 20 plus years later, this my second term, it's a lot different. It's a little harder because we have to be much more, there's a lot more research that has to be done because you have a bar that you want to set and make sure that the folks that make it are truly deserving of that high honor. And I think we've made some strides in the past couple of years about trying to codify some of the things we go through so that we put everything on an even field, so to speak. Lastly, I'll say that there are, as Huntley said, there are a number of folks that have been nominated. The principal way a person can get on this is to have high participation of the people that nominate them and the folks that are willing to step up and do write-ups to provide information and to give the committee input as to why that person deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame does not sit there and go, oh, we think this person should be and that person should be. That's not our job. Our job is to evaluate the support and the information we get from the peers and the community at large to include these folks in there so that that the honor that this really represents as an alumni of Christchurch or a friend of the school is maintained. So without further ado, we'll get on with it. Our first presenter is Bill Broadus in the class of 1961.
Thank you. I am delighted and thrilled to be here to present my dear friend and classmate, Robert Temple Cole Cohen, for induction into the Hall of Fame of Christchurch. This is an honor long overdue. Since graduation, Bobby and I have been dear friends. We have spent decades together golfing, and with our dear friend and classmate, Nelson Williams, many years beating each other on the racquetball court, sailing, and generally enjoying each other's company. As I contemplated what to say today, I thought of the various lies I might tell and the tall tales, and Bobby inspires many. But then I remembered the old adage that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. So I decided to stick to the facts. Just the facts. Like a number of boys back in the day, Christchurch was not Bobby's first high school. Truth be known, I don't think it was his second either. But the lessons he learned, the principles that were instilled and took root here, germinated, even if it was a couple of years later than normal. Following graduation from Christchurch, Bobby enrolled at Stetson University near Daytona Beach. He mistakenly thought that beach partying was part of the school's curriculum and decided that that would be a very good major. So he returned home after a year and did not return to Stetson. He then got a pilot's license and began working in the aviation industry. He met a lovely young lady, Barbara Ruffin, who is here and would later become his beloved wife. And he realized that if he were to gather her attention, that he needed to return to school, complete his education. So he did that. He enjoyed his undergraduate years so much that he decided to get a master's. And he enjoyed academia so much that he decided to join the faculty of Virginia Commonwealth University, where he taught economics. After several years with the blessing of VCU, he left to earn his PhD. And he and Barbara took off to Kentucky, where he earned his degree returned to Richmond, joined the faculty of the University of Richmond and taught economics. After a few years, he realized that he would much rather enjoy putting economic principles into practice than simply teaching their theory. So he joined the staff of the State Corporation Commission of the Commonwealth of Virginia and tried his hand at regulating the insurance industry. After a few years of butting his head against the bureaucracy, he decided to join the regulated side, and he went over to a large healthcare insurer in Richmond. Unfortunately, there he realized that even the private sector has bureaucracies. So with a young colleague, Monty McFadden, who is here today, they left their employer, the comfort of a very large, secure, safe corporation, went out on their own, established a new company where they could chart their own way and captain their own boat. They decided to pursue the niche market of managing the delivery of healthcare services in the workers' compensation field. Soon they were able to persuade the Commonwealth of Virginia to outsource its work in this area to their company. Commonwealth of Virginia has well over 100,000 employees, so you can imagine the number of complicated issues that they had to deal with. But deal with them they did, and they wrestled them to the ground, and Bobby and his company won. In the 20 years prior to Bobby's retirement, he and his company were responsible for saving the taxpayers of this Commonwealth over $200 million. That's a lot of lettuce in my book. Not only that, they were able to manage the delivery of medical services more promptly than had previously been the case, at a higher level of quality of care. Worker time off the job was reduced significantly, and worker satisfaction with the program went up significantly. Bobby achieved the highest pinnacle of success in his profession, and he did so by creative, out-of-the-box thinking. The lessons to be learned from his achievement are really simple, but they bear repeating because too often we go astray and we forget. Have a dream. Pursue your dream. Persevere. And in the famous words of Jimmy Valvano, never give up. Never, ever give up. Bobby followed those principles, and he achieved the highest success in his chosen profession. But there's another aspect to Bobby's career that, from my perspective, is at least as significant and important. I've been closely associated with Christchurch for over 65 years. I know of no volunteer, none, who over decades and decades has given the enthusiastic cheerleading for our alma mater that Bobby Cohen has done. He attends school events. He encourages others to do so. He has chaired virtually all school committees that involve alumni participation. But it's in the area of annual giving where he has really set the mark. The Spirit Award, which encourages classes to increase participation in annual giving, was his idea. And not surprisingly, the class of 61, his class, has won that honor each of the first 4 years in which it has been awarded. Bobby's son, Temple, now leading professor at the Naval Academy, who is here today, began his teaching career here. And Bobby's grandson, sitting right here, stand up, young man, is here as well as a student. In sum, Bobby is not only a man for all seasons. He has done wonderfully well in the professional arena. He's achieved the highest levels of success. He's improved the operation of government. He has saved taxpayers money, and not many people can say that. He's improved the care that was delivered to people. And along the way, he made the time to be able to be our school's greatest cheerleader, to inspire us to do more so that future generations can have the same wonderful opportunities that we did and enjoyed in the 1960s. Bobby, you so deserve this award. Congratulations.
Get you two first, and then I'll come in.
Bubble Bobby, please.
A bad sign for all of you. I start off script. Company told me I only had an hour. I knew he didn't tell the truth either. But anyway, is that better? Oh, I'll start again. I'm going off script for a minute. I said I will probably get in under an hour on this, something, don't worry. But before I even start into it, I think a good way to start this is a cheat. All right, and it's a real simple one. It's go blue, go orange, go church. Can you all do that one? All right, let's give it a try. Go blue, go orange, go church. That was fabulous. That even woke up the Lord. You should be proud of yourselves for that. I really, after Bill's introduction, I don't know what to say, other than I probably ought to stop right at this point, but I can't do that. Anyway, thank you, Bill, for that kind introduction. Now you will hear my side of the story. It's an honor to be here today, joining the ranks of Christchurch School Hall of Fame. As I stand before you, I'm reminded of a powerful memory from years ago. I was listening to Roger Moorman, Jr., and if you sail, you would know that name, Mobjack sailboats. Roger Moorman, class of 1939, designed the Mobjack, the first all-fiberglass sailboat. As Roger Jr. spoke, and this is his son accepting the award, he gestured towards a yellow Mobjack parked out front and said, "The Rappahannock River, Christchurch School, Mobjack on the yard. The old man thinks he's died and gone to heaven." Just priceless. That moment encapsulates the spirit of Christchurch for me. A place where dreams take flight and lasting memories are made. My time at Christchurch was filled with such moments. Allow me to share a few stories that shaped my journey, and you will see the dichotomy of my existence here and then later in life. One winter day, I convinced some fellow students to create commotion in the dorm. The next day, our headmaster, Mr. Yarborough, we called him the Hawk because he thought he saw everything, not quite everything, summoned me. Standing before him, I felt wafted by his presence. He asked if I was responsible for the noise. "No, sir," I replied. "I was in bed, and I made no noise." Then he asked if I had anything to do with it. Silence. Well, it was my idea. His response was succinct and unforgettable. "Come, first we have to kill the Hitlers. Go to class." That was the end of the discussion. That lesson in accountability and leadership has stayed with me. In Mr. Morton's chemistry class, my passion for rocketry found an outlet. I attempted to create rocket fuel through electrolysis, converting water into oxygen and hydrogen in copious amounts. My ambitious setup involved a 20-gallon fish tank, water, and hydrochloric acid. Over the weekend, the acid ate through the metal and the contents leaked on the floor. While this may have set back the U.S. space program by decades, it taught me valuable lessons about planning, safety, and the unpredictable nature of experimentation. Last one. Just before graduation, I approached my Spanish teacher and wrestling coach, Jack Deaton. I confessed that I needed to pay Spanish to graduate, adding that no one would ever know how little Spanish I knew, as I would not take it again. Coach Deaton's grace in that moment, helping me pass, despite my shortcomings, this taught me about compassion and the importance of seeing potential in others, even when they don't see it in themselves. I have so many more stories, but I've been advised by counsel, Bill Broadus, the statute of limitations has not run. So that terminates activities at Christchurch. These experiences at Christchurch and many others set my course on life's river. That metaphor is an important one. Indeed, the educational program of Christchurch itself is centered on the waters of the Rappahannock River. And here is what Christchurch has taught me about being the pilot of my own life. Christchurch taught me that a pilot needs a drive for excellence, a commitment to persistence, the need to ask questions, and creative solutions often come from unexpected places. Christchurch taught me that a pilot needs good navigational skills, including how to balance family, professional, and community responsibilities. It's easy, just don't sleep as much. Christchurch taught me that every pilot needs a good crew. The friendships I formed, particularly with my classmates from 61, a group I'm proud to call the best of the best, the Bobflats, has been a source of strength and joy throughout my life. Together, we have given back to the school in multiple ways, including financial aid, digitizing yearbooks, purchasing a 3D printer, 3 new sailboats, working with students, and always striving to pay forward the opportunities we were given by those that came before. And Christchurch taught me that any ship will drift out to sea without an anchor. As I accept this honor, I want to thank my family for anchoring my life. And I'd like the whole group there to stand up. Temple, all of you. Barbara. That includes then my wife Barbara, my son Temple, and his wife Angela, my daughter Nell, and granddaughter Izzy, who is, I'm sure, studying away right now somewhere up in New England, and grandson Ozzy, who they let him off from class to come to this. Thank you, Ozzy. Who is a current Christchurch student. They have served as competent co-pilots on this flight. There are many people responsible for giving me this opportunity to speak. Among them, my classmates who have provided me with solicited and unsolicited ideas and critiques. No shortage of critiques, by the way. Former headmasters Bob Yarborough and Jeb Byers, and Development Officer Huntley Gallagher. Feel free to direct all complaints their way. And there are many more whose generosity and support have mattered more than I can say. In conclusion, I'd like to share a few closing lines from a poem that my son Temple wrote for the class of 61 on the occasion of that 50th reunion. No one can doubt the pride felt at great deeds, We learned to carry the sun upon our backs like titans. Now we are old men too. We want others to know this of us. The richness of old men's lives shines through their glittering eyes. Today, as I join the Hall of Fame, I'm reminded that while time may pass, the impact of Christchurch School serves as a constant beacon to help pilot our flight along life's rivers. Thank you, Christchurch School. What a wonderful flight this has been.
Congratulations. Our next presenter will be Michelle Schroeder, Chief Development Officer here at Christchurch.
So Bobby, I'm going to actually not beat your time. I'm going to increase time by 1 minute. I'm going to be an hour and 1 minute. But then I remember Bill Barada said we have to be truthful, so I'll be much less than that. I just want to let all of you know, and I'm hoping all of you know this, that Christchurch School started as a boys' school. But today, we have 224 students, and we have our largest female class of 94 women who are here, or young women. So I just wanted to let everyone know this is based on the Letty Pate Whitehead Foundation Award that we're giving to them, and they do give to girls here, not boys. But I think that once you hear this story, it's a really amazing story. So history has provided us with no shortage of incredible women in this world. Some have broken barriers in business, others have spurred change in their communities, and others have stood boldly in the face of adversity. Letty Pate Whitehead Evans, as it happens, did all three. Evans was born in Thaxton, Virginia, and married Joseph Brown Whitehead, with whom she had 2 sons. In 1899, Mr. Whitehead and an associate were successful in getting the exclusive contract to bottle Coca-Cola, which had previously only been a soda fountain drink. Upon her husband's death in 1906, he was 34 years old. Just to put that in perspective, Evans took control of the bottling company, which she had grown to 80 bottling plants, and today there are over 900 bottling plants. She serves as chairman of the Whitehead Holding Company and president of the Whitehead Realty Company. Under her leadership, the companies and the family's wealth enjoyed rapid growth. In 1913, she married her second husband, Colonel Arthur Kelly Evans, and moved from Atlanta to Hot Springs, Virginia. In 1934, Evans was named to the board of directors of Coca-Cola, becoming one of the first women to serve on the board of directors for any major American corporation. She held that position for almost 20 years. Throughout her life, Evans gave generously from her family's fortune to various charities and organizations. When she died in 1953, she left her estate to her foundation. Since 1975, the Letty Pate Whitehead Foundation has been the largest donor in our school's history, giving grants for tuition assistance each year to deserving Christian female students. The foundation has created a stronger path to higher education, better job opportunities, and instilling the value of giving back. That's exactly what Bobby Cohn was saying. When you have such a great place that you're going to, and you got that opportunity from someone else, to give that back to the next person. Ms. Whitehead's greatest legacy was her genuine concern for others, her great works for Christian charity, and a deep sense of obligation to our neighbors. Christchurch School is honored to induct the Letty Pate Whitehead Foundation into the Hall of Fame. No one was able to join us today, but this is the plaque that will be going to Atlanta. I'll be delivering that to them next year.
next presenter will be Dan Fletcher, father of Walker Fletcher.
So let me get this straight. You're going to ask me to leave home where I have my own room, we live on a lake, I have a jet ski and a boat, and you're going to send me to a little school on a river somewhere in Virginia. That makes a lot of sense, Dad. Certainly caused me to pause because I believed that a good process would yield a good result. And that stressed that theory a little bit, but I was convinced. I'd made a lot of bad decisions in my life, but this was a good one. I knew this was a good one. So I definitively said, yes, this makes sense. And off we went to Christchurch School. A couple anecdotes. Walker enjoyed a lot of success on the athletic fields, in the classroom, but also on the athletic fields. It's been said that maybe his best athletic feat, or the best throw he ever made in a sport, was not on the field, but was out of the second floor dorm window with a can of Coca-Cola that hit a garbage truck at 6:30 in the morning because the garbage truck was making far too much noise at an ungodly hour and disturbing the boy's sleep. I'll let Coach Homer extrapolate on that over refreshments. But the other anecdote, the other game that sits in my mind is when Christchurch played Quantico. And it was an away game at Quantico. Now, nothing instills fear in a team more than 15 and 16-year-old boys that have spent an inordinate amount of time in blue sport coats, white shirts, club ties, and khaki pants and topsiders. Particularly if you're a Marine Corps kid. I'm sure they were just, in fear of this team. Off the bus, the Christchurch team goes, and I'm thinking to myself as I settle into the sideline, I don't know if these kids can take a punch. Well, they not only took a punch, they delivered a punch and beat the Quantico team, much to the surprise of the Marines. These prep school boys beat the Quantico boys. And that's when I knew that the process was working, that the process was yielding results, because these young boys were coming together as a team, but more importantly, they were coming together as men. Mark Twain said that one word makes a difference, the difference between lightning and lightning bug. Let me string a few one words together when I think about Walker. Kind, a friend, a good father, a good husband, a professional, a good athlete. There's more, but I'll stop there. Those are good ones. So this little school on a river somewhere in Virginia propelled this boy to be a fine young man that I'm proud to introduce, a proud member of the Christchurch Seahorses, the Colorado Buffaloes, and the vice president of the Detroit Pistons, my son, Walker Fletcher.
Go back some tears on that one. Thanks, Dad. It's been a while since I've been up here, that's for sure. Looks like it. So it's September 1998, and I'm in the head coach's office at the University of Colorado, looking over Folsom Field. Really special place for me. And having just finished my first preseason training there at Colorado as a recruited walk-on quarterback. Just a few nights before the opening game, we played Colorado State. That game used to be played at Mile High Stadium, so kind of aging myself there as well. There's another story about tear gas and my grandparents at that game, which is for another time. So we're walking through the game plan, and it's just the quarterbacks and the head coach. And at that time, there were 5 quarterbacks, 3 freshmen, Tyler Brayton was from Oregon, a 4-star quarterback, set a bunch of records in Oregon for football. Zach Colvin was from San Antonio, Texas, another 4-star quarterback. And Adam Bledsoe, Drew Bledsoe's brother, was a quarterback at that time. And then our starting quarterback, Mike Machete. I promise there's a line here that's relevant. So we're sitting in the office, and it's nighttime. We're kind of going through the game plan. And Coach Homer, Rick Neuheisel was our coach at the time. And he is a real kind of players coach and relationship guy. So it wasn't odd to kind of have an icebreaker kind of conversation prior to these meetings. So he kind of sits us all down and says, okay, we're going to go around the room and everyone's going to tell me what your high school mascot was. This is where I would cuss if we weren't in church, but I'm thinking, oh no. This is going to be good, So Tyler goes and he's a Spartan, right? And Adam is a warrior. And the other guy was a shark. And it's kind of coming around to me, and I'm like, yikes! I wanted to hide. You can kind of see where this is going, but it's I tell them we're the Fighting Seahorses, and there's a good laugh, and it's kind of a chuckle, and what the hell are you talking about, and how on earth could somebody name a mascot the Seahorses? I'm not sure they knew much about seahorses, where they're from. Anyway. So I kind of tell that story, to think about where I came from and what it means to me to be a seahorse. And we are the Christchurch Seahorses, right? This is something that, is so instrumental being at Christchurch during that time in your life and the growth. And it's just such a critical part of, my life growing up was a bit, family structure was non-traditional. My dad's in California, my mom's in Florida. Christchurch gave me that stability, and I hear kind of the other people talking about kind of what Christchurch was able to give, and that stability for me was instrumental in kind of my life and going forward, and will be that beacon that is for me kind of for the rest of my life. And yes, of course, I had my issues here. Obviously, be remiss if we didn't tell that bottle story. People love that one. It's going to be tough to tell my family that, but obviously my dad already did that. But speaking of my family, that's kind of what this was for me was home, and now home is with my family only. So thank you for being here. Coach Homer and the Homer family. I cherished every moment with you guys, and sitting right back there where you are now was just instrumental for me. And Coach, the pregame speeches, the morning juice, the times when you would literally take somebody's helmet off, put it on your head to show us, the play or how to do it. I know Bella was there, of course. My grandfather used to always say, watch people's feet and not their mouth. So, Coach, you showed us with your feet. This will always be, a piece of home for me. So just really thankful for this. I'm honored. There's different paths on how to get home, but it's nice to be back at something like this, and with some friends that are here, Brian and Sam and Delwan and Adam. In true Christchurch fashion, I borrowed this sport coat from Adam. That kind of ties everything back together. So thank you for that. Thank you all for being here. It's really nice. Thank you to the committee of Christchurch School. It's really wonderful honor to be here. So thank you.
Congratulations. Our last presenter now is Matt Schaefer, 21-year head soccer coach, math teacher here at Christchurch, and Alex Faulkner's coach.
First off, really to Alec directly, just, you could have chosen a lot of people. You got a big network, and more on that in a bit. And it's just really an honor that you chose me. So I hope I do, I hope I do well and represent you as you should be, but I also realize that's pretty impossible. I saw Alec really early here. I don't get to see the players I coach. Coaching boarding school is a really interesting thing. It's almost impossible for me to explain to my coaching colleagues at my age that coach at a day school or a public school. You can't really have your eye on the guy at 8 years old, 7 years old, 10 years old, and just kind of start to see, what's coming down the pipe. Kids come from all over the place in boarding school, and they come from all over the world too. And so there's a lot of on the fly when preseason comes. But Alec was different for me. I had my eye on him really early for a lot of reasons. I saw a lot of similarities. I understood him really well just from my own way of seeing what a ball meant. It just means something different to us. As a player in soccer, you want to be the best, like everything. You want to score the goals. You want to be the one. Everybody likes that. Soccer's a humbling game. It's you want to win mostly, but mostly you just don't want to lose. You really want to take care of it. I really got that early. That I didn't necessarily want to be the best player. I wanted to be on the best team, which meant I had to figure out what I could do best for each team. I could see Alec really got that early, like really well. And even though when he was in high school, we butted heads at times because he's a teenager. But everywhere he played, it was the same. Everywhere. Every coach I talked to that had the blessing of coaching him after. Legendary coaches. Steve Shaw, legendary at CNU. Assigns the guy a captain for 3 years. I hope I got that right. That's unbelievable. I don't know if that's ever happened. Ever. It's unbelievable. So in light of that, I should go back to what I said I would do, which is I needed some help with this one. I don't think it should be just for me, like it's an end of the year speech for the season high coach. This is a little bit bigger. Libby Randolph did a great job of gathering some of the special people that Al got to play with. It's nice for me to read their words because I got to teach and coach all of these guys as well, and nice to see them as adults. Honoring a really great teammate. Jared Bush, class of 2010, state champion, 2009, incredible defender for us, says the following: Alec embodied what it meant to be a CCS soccer player, pushing all our teammates to aspire for greatness, both on and off the field, through his love of the game and unmatched dedication. He was truly a student of the game, traveling the world to train, while balancing both club and high school seasons. Truly an extraordinary feat. Patrick Murphy in attendance, class of 2014. Alec's competitive spirit, work ethic set him apart from his peer and competitive competition. Excuse me. His dedication to tireless attempts as improving his development as a player, tactician, and leader was clearly seen every day and early on. Passion is the word that comes to mind when thinking about the way he carried himself. It is an impressive feat to watch somebody muster up the energy and ability to draw genuine emotion consistently every day. That energy was contagious and make it easier for his peers to find the courage to make bold attempts and feats that would not always end successfully in terms of the scoreboard, as we all know, but nonetheless would push us all to improve. Alec would and still acts as the benchmark in my mind for what it looks to be like a leader. He walks the walk. In addition to his fierce competitiveness, Alec's leadership and his presence at Christchurch as a well-rounded student athlete makes Alec the ideal recipient for this honor. And finally, poor Libby, she's going to be mad at me. She wrote a lot more than this. When I imagine a soccer fan, the first person that comes to mind is Alec Faulkner. I've known Alec for most of my life, and I'm lucky to be able to call him one of my closest friends. As a kid, Alec was widely recognized as the energetic kid with the curly bleach blonde hair, who always had a soccer ball on his feet. It is no surprise that Alec has seen immense success on the soccer pitch, but it is also his demeanor when the cleats are off that makes him worthy of this award. Alec is one of the most determined people I've ever met, and his career is a testament to that determination. Even as a young kid, Alec's goal was to play professional soccer, and he worked day in and day out to reach that goal. His competitive drive and creativity have transformed him from the soccer pitch to his daily life, leading to personal and professional success. Alec is the epitome of setting a goal and finding determination and drive to reach that goal, a skill absolutely necessary to be successful as an athlete and beyond. I'm going to whittle down the rest of the words, just add a little few of my own. Alec, a kid from across the river from Whitestone, my first year as his older brother was a senior. Incredible success here on the field. Like I said, I really saw him as the person that could really kind of just glue all that stuff together here. And he's fortunate the game gave him a state championship in high school. There's very few that get to do that. He got to play in a state semifinal and got his heart broken because the coach couldn't figure out the darn tactics of the game. Still think about that a lot. He got to play at CNU, an incredible D3 school with a legendary coach that's known across the nation. He got to be captain for 3 years. He got to get his heart broken in penalty shootouts in the NCAA tournament. He got to not give up on that and roll the dice and go to Australia and play. He gets to keep playing right now. A ton of soccer out in Portland. I'm sure the network has grown there. That's all the stuff you write. Why? If you're a player, you know. This is why Alec knows. Why? Why do you get to eat your cake? Because you baked it. Because somebody said, hey, kick the ball against the wall 100 times a day for the entire summer and go do push-ups and go do that or whatever. And Alec said, sure. And then the adult said, what am I guaranteed? Nothing. You'll get to play the game and the ball might bounce your way and it might not. And he said, awesome. I'm going to try to bake a cake. And eggs will break, and you'll have the wrong flour, and whatever, right? And by the time it's baked, the players don't even want to eat it. They're already baking a new cake. Just leave it. It's over. To care for something, to tend to it, to love unconditionally, to know you're going to have your heart broken, to stand on the stage and accept the game of soccer's choices, to give freely one's mind, body, and spirit to a game for no reason other than what else are we going to do in this world? Alec continues to do this. Sports are sacred. Fandom and stuff in the modern world and all that is muddying the waters. But there's players. They care about the game first. They take care of it. They pass it on. I was super fortunate to have adults that took care of the game and taught me that way. I'm really blessed to have Alec as somebody who I hope I was able to teach him at least something when he was here amongst all the other great mentors that he's got to experience. And I know that he will do that as well. So, Alec, congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, Chase. It's funny, I've was thinking about how I wanted to kind of what I was going to do when I got up here, I guess. And I was trying to channel my like senior speech energy that we all have to do, and we all have to like picture everyone naked and like try and get through 5 minutes of talking. But really, I'm up here mostly because of the people around me, and so I'm really just going to take that time to thank them. It's a long list of people. But I think first and foremost, Schaefer, thank you so much for willing to accept me here and those kind words, and sort of the opportunity to play for 4 years here at this program and at this school. And secondly, the Hall of Fame committee, everyone here, congratulations to everyone here, and thank you for the opportunity to be a part of kind of a distinguished group of people. I think going down to the kind of the most important people here, my family. Try not to get emotional. But I'll start with Ryan and Britt. I had this all covered off, but my much older brother and sister, much older. I would have played really any sport that they were playing, and it just so happens that it was soccer, and I'm really glad it was, because I'm not sure we would have been really good at anything else. But I think it's funny, because I think you two had every right to kind of say, wow, this world got disrupted with me coming into it. But you never said it. I never felt it. I say you maybe said it recently, sarcastically, but never growing up. I was always kind of a part of their world immediately. And they both carved out very distinct lives for themselves that was all very true to themselves. And that was kind of my guiding light as I was going through, to be able to kind of just draw a journey that is true to me. And every step of that way in that roller coaster, Brian and Britt supported me and felt proud of me the whole time. For all that, thank you so much. Mom and Dad, man. Okay, so the first thing is, playing soccer in a small town, there are really no easy choices of trying to get on a team. And my parents were kind of the quintessential part of sacrificing what it means for us and for me to achieve my dream. I only had one, and that probably was playing professional soccer, and that just started probably last year, and having a little bit more to add there. But my parents, they supported me, they sacrificed, they encouraged that, where I didn't need to second guess anything than what I was doing. I think they instilled this sort of confidence in me, that basically was, you show up, you give everything that you have, you build up the people around you, and you walk through the doors that you've opened. And you can achieve a life that you seek, desire, and ultimately that will make you happy. So all this recognition and achievement, I really give, and I think it belongs to my family the most. And I can't thank you enough for the environment that you built and the sacrifices that you took for me to be standing here. So thank you for everyone for allowing me to get through it.
Congratulations. On behalf of the Christchurch Hall of Fame Committee, I'd like to welcome each of you to this body. I think very well deserved. Please join me in a round of applause. Now Billy Coyle, head of school, will close us out.
Thank you. From here, we are headed to the front lawn in front of the head of school's house. We've got a special lunch for everyone. Congratulations, but that will conclude our program here, and then we'll go have a nice lunch, and then we'll all head over to the football field. All right, thank you all.